Hello and welcome, friends, to the very first episode of a brand new series called Face Off in a Beer, where I drink a beer, in this case, Lagunitas Hazy Memories. It has a little dog on it, that's why I bought it. And compare two similar features of specific products, and just see how they do things differently. In this case, we're going to take a look at the UI of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X, since they share the same UI. Well, let's get started. First, I want to tell you a little bit about what UI is. UI stands for user interface, which is basically anything where a human and a machine interact. So this can be things like the operating system of your phone or computer. It could be power tools or even the interface of heavy machinery operators. In this case, we're specifically talking about all of the different things on the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X that allow you to access the different features on it. So I have several different categories that I'd like to compare. The first one being browsing the store. Now with the Xbox, you can browse the store and have access to pretty much every single category you can think of. You can buy movie and TV shows, download apps for streaming, download games, and even buy hardware, such as controllers and new consoles. This might be a little overwhelming for some users, but it's nice to be able to browse the entirety of what the Microsoft Store has to offer. On the PlayStation side, things are a lot more simple. You have two areas: your entertainment area, which is for like TV, movies, and streaming services, including music. And then you have your game area, where you have all of your games, free to play, subscriptions, and microtransactions. I think it's interesting that they divided them up into two different areas, and I think this is a lot more appealing to someone who really isn't interested in getting into the nitty-gritty of all the different types of things you can purchase. This provides a more simple experience for the user. The second category is accessing your games library. On Xbox, all you have to do is hit the middle jewel button. That'll open your guide. Once you do that, select My Games and Apps, See All, and you'll have access to everything that you have installed under the Games, Apps, and Groups section. But if you want to access more, you also have Full Library, which includes all of your own games, things that are on Game Pass, things that are on EA Play, all of your apps, and things that you have successfully redeemed with games with gold. As far as PlayStation goes, you scroll all the way over to your game library, which gives you access to your collection, which is all the games that you've purchased. Then, if you scroll over one tab, you'll have your installed games. After that, all the games that you've got from PlayStation Plus. And then after that, if you're subscribed to PlayStation Now, you'll have all the titles that you have access from there. This is a very simple interface when it comes to browsing your library. I'd like to see how they expand it when PlayStation has an answer to Game Pass. I'm sure once they add that service, there'll be another tab for those types of games. Under the PlayStation Plus section, that's where you can access the PlayStation Collection for the PlayStation 5. Next, I'd like to talk about achievements and trophies, how each platform tracks them, and the unique features each one has for them. When it comes to Xbox, you have plenty of opportunities to compare your achievements to your friends. Right when you go to the achievements section, it compares you to the next highest person in achievements and the person directly below you in achievements for the month. So, kind of leading into Xbox's multiplayer focus, they're always promoting that competitive nature and challenging each other to do better. Once you get past that, you have the actual achievements themselves, and you can compare any game that you see on that list to any of your friends who have played those games. You can also check out your recent achievements by clicking on that section. There's another section for the leaderboard, so if you wanted to see who the actual top scorers were for the month, as opposed to just the next two people higher and lower than you, you could also do that. There's also quests for Game Pass, which has to do with either getting achievements in Game Pass games, playing them, logging into the Game Pass app, and things like that. Those can get you Microsoft points, which you can then redeem for different gift cards and stuff like that. I've actually gotten like $10 from the Microsoft store and put that towards Cyberpunk 2077. So that's a pretty cool little loop that they have to get you to play new games on Game Pass and reward you for doing that. Moving back over to the PlayStation side, things are a bit more simple. You can take a look at each individual title and see what trophies you've earned, as well as organize the trophies by specific categories. You can also compare trophies directly to your friends by clicking on their name, and it'll show you the percentages you each have on that title. By clicking on that title, it'll tell you the date that you've earned it and the rarity of those trophies. While this is very simple, it goes with PlayStation's overall aesthetic of simplicity that they've been going for with the PlayStation 5. I do wish they had some sort of feature like a trophy case to show off platinums or specific trophies that you're very proud of when you go to the profile of your friend, but maybe they can do that in the future with due time. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the guide. The guide is the little sidebar that appears when you press the symbol button for each platform. So on Xbox it's the big giant X, and on PlayStation it's the giant PlayStation symbol. When looking at the guide, you have several categories, which include home, my games and apps, the recent games you played, your notifications, Game Pass, the store, search, and your audio settings. Next you have the people section, which includes your friends, what's going on right now, different parties that they have, clubs you can join. Next you have the parties and chat, which is whatever active parties you currently have. That's where you can start a party, who you've been talking to, and starting new chats and messages from Xbox Live. Next is the game activity, which is where your achievements are shown. It shows your friends who play the games that you're playing, and it's another place to access the different clubs and looking for group. Capture and share section will start recordings for you, show you the screenshots and captures that you've done in the past, and allow you to share them to various platforms or different parts of the Xbox Live infrastructure. Finally, you have profile and system, which tells you about your profile, allows you to go through the different settings and change things the way that you want them, and also customize the guide so that those different categories are in different orders if you don't like the order that they naturally come in. Moving back over to the PlayStation side, it appears that they want to continue with their trend of simplicity. After home, you have the switcher, which allows you to look at your recent games and apps. After that, you have your notifications, which allows you to take a look at whether or not you have any game or party invites and how your games are doing, if they're being updated or downloaded. Your game base shows you what your friends are doing, what parties are going on, and which ones you can join. Music obviously will let you know which music apps are available and what you can do within them as far as, your playlist or what music you're listening to. Sound will allow you to change your sound settings, whether it's party, mic, or whatever. Your microphone will let you mute your mic and change your volume. The accessories section will monitor your controller battery and as well as any other devices that are connected, so if you have your PlayStation headset, it'll also work there. You also have your profile section, which will give you your profile information, allow you to edit your profile, and other things like that. After that, you have your power settings, which let you turn it off or put it into rest mode, and just like the Xbox, you can customize every aspect of it, but this allows you to add more categories to the PlayStation, whereas Xbox just allows you to move around the existing categories. The final thing I want to compare in this video is what happens when the consoles go idle. So for Xbox, basically what it does is after about 20 or so minutes, it'll pop up with the guide on the right side of the screen and tell you which achievements you're closest to, whether or not you have new messages since you've been idle, any of your friends that have become online since then, and any party invites or other kind of notifications that may pop up. When it comes to PlayStation, they continue with their trend of simplicity. When it goes idle, it just gives you a black screen. It doesn't tell you about any notifications or anything like that. I think that's because PlayStation just wants you to focus on your experience on your games. Whereas Xbox is more about the social experience. They want you to interact with your friends, challenge each other, and share clips and stuff. Both of these are very good and viable interfaces. It's really up to you more what you're into. Some people might not like all of that clutter in their UI, and all of the different things that Xbox offers might just be too much for some people. Like I said earlier, their Microsoft Store in general on Xbox might be overwhelming to some because of the sheer amount of things they offer. You can buy a new Xbox on your Xbox. Whereas the PlayStation 5 it's very simple for people who are just trying to get into games and play games. I think that both of them have merit and both of them are definitely workable. It's really up to you on what you think is the best. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video and what you think of both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S. Are they good user interface experiences, or is one of them better or worse? I think they're both very comparable. They have the same categories and they do basically the same thing. My cat hates me, so I'm gonna end this video. Till next time.